To outwit Odias Dumazil last October here at Twin River, how will he fare against the out-of-towner, YOLEXSY LEIVA?
And it was pretty interesting seeing the response after Constantino made his return in 2011. It was almost unanimous when he told somebody Benny Constantino was on the card. The initial reaction was, what? After 10 years he's coming back? But boxing, for some fighters, it's just in their blood and they can't give it up. And Benny is one of those guys, and it's not like he took 10 years off and just sat on the couch and didn't work out. He was working out pretty faithfully at Manfredo's gym and other gyms around there. So Benny certainly has been looking to get back in there. Finally got the opportunity with Jimmy Birchfield, putting him in there against Odias Dumazil in October. And now, 5 months later, here against YOLEXSY the Pitbull. And Constantino started pretty sluggish in his last fight. Maybe shook the ring rust off, because right now he looks like he's ready to go to work.
Well, once again, though, he seems susceptible to left hooks. I think there is actually some blood on his right eye due to a left hook from YOLEXSY LEIVA within the first 30 seconds of this fight.
And that was really the big flaw that he had against Dumazil. Dumazil kept hitting him with that left hook, but never really followed it up. And we had mentioned both after the fight that if Odias had a right hand, he may have actually knocked Constantino out in that fight. As you see now, actually the ref looking at Constantino.
There might have been an accidental clash of heads, which has resulted in this lull in the action. A nice body shot by Benny Constantino, who snuck in a left hand of the body as our referee, Danny Schiavone, takes a look at both the head of Leiva and Constantino, as it does appear they clashed heads.
Constantino in the black trunks with the red stripe, Leiva in the red trunks with the blue stripe, coming all the way from Nashville, Tennessee, as he's trying to apply the pressure here on the boss.
A nice right hand by Constantino snaps back the head of Leiva. And suddenly we've got a really good fight breaking out as two left hooks from Leiva have Constantino a little bit wobbly.
This is one of those fights where neither guy will ever get to that world championship level, but they both just love boxing so much that they really just want to strap on the gloves and go at it in the ring. And that's really what we're seeing right now. Constantino in the corner here, and Leiva not letting up, but Constantino does a good job to get outside of the corner, where Leiva puts him right back. All of YOLEXSY's fights has taken part in Tennessee. Again, his record 4-2 with 3 knockouts. Benny the Boss 7-0 with 4 knockouts. All of Benny's fights have taken place in Rhode Island. Only one at Twin River, though, mainly because when Benny was really fighting, Twin River was actually Lincoln Park and wasn't doing boxing here.
He might be more heavily associated with Rhodes on the Pawtucket to some fans, and more associated as a welterweight than the middleweight we see here tonight at Twin River. But a good fight breaking out here in round 1 between Constantino and Leiva.
And Constantino had a really nice combination in the corner, but then he opened himself up and got hit again, Pete, with that left hook. And you continue to see that I think YOLEXSY's starting to pick up that he's able to land that left hook, and he keeps throwing it consistently at Constantino, who takes a pair of blasts and another one in the corner and is forced to take a knee. And that was probably a smart move, Pete, because he was really getting hit a lot by that left hook by Pitbull.
Even prior to what will be an official knockdown, I thought that Leiva was getting the better of Constantino in that first round. Let's see if Constantino can respond the way he did against Odias Dumazil and go on to win this fight, because that was a good opening round for YOLEXSY LEIVA from Nashville, Tennessee. But Benny Constantino did land some good shots as well, but I think he's more worse for wear as opposed to Leiva.
And Constantino actually really lucky that the bell rang when it did, because his hands were dropped. YOLEXSY kept hitting him with those left hooks. And right now, if you're in the corner of YOLEXSY, you have to be telling him to keep throwing those left hooks. I'm going to take a look here. But what actually sent him down to the canvas, you see him connect with 1, 2, another one at the top of the head, and then he just keeps throwing them. Big right hand there, followed with a huge left to the temple, and then Benny really took a knee there, and I think if he didn't take a knee, it was eventually going to come.
And it was a left hook that started that succession of punches, and a left hook that was ultimately the last punch that landed prior to Constantino hitting the canvas.
Ready for round number 2 of a scheduled 4. The Boss wearing the black trunks, Pitbull wearing the red trunks with the blue stripes. Constantino took a knee in that first round. Credit that a knockdown for YOLEXSY. And correct me if I'm wrong, Pete, but I don't think the ropes is where Benny Constantino wants to be up against, as that's really when YOLEXSY has had the most opportunities. When Benny had his back up against the ropes, it was bouncing off him.
I don't think that's where Constantino wants to be either. Keep in mind, Constantino, prior to turning pro, was a standout amateur. That muscle memory, he knows what to do in there. He's got ring savvy. Can he pull the trigger? Can his body pull the trigger with what his mind is telling him? Just one fight in the past 10 years coming last October. Constantino's in a dogfight now.
And right now, Leiva really just unloading on him, just throwing constant hooks left to right, and he's connecting on a good majority of those. Constantino is absorbing them. We'll see what kind of effect it has on him. As you see, referee Danny Schiavone keeping a good eye on Constantino. And this is exactly what YOLEXSY wants. Just put Constantino in the corner. Just keep throwing punches. They got to sneak through.
But Constantino fighting his way out of the corner.
Starting to see some swelling over the left eye there of Constantino. Still very early in this fight.
And I don't think it's just some swelling, Pat. Unfortunately for Constantino, it looks like some significant swelling.
And Constantino now dropping his hands, heading into the corner, right where YOLEXSY wants him to be.
Nice right hand by Constantino.
Constantino is punching his way out, and it's interesting. When YOLEXSY's on the offense, he's a southpaw. When he's on the defense, he goes in righty, and now he's switching up again as the crowd is on their feet, trying to really get in the corner here of Constantino, who needs all the support he can, as he's been getting blasted this round by YOLEXSY.
Both guys are fighting more or less on hard right now. This is turning out to be the most entertaining fight we've had of the night. Probably because of the lapses in each man's defense at this junction. Double left jab by Leiva, and it appeared that Constantino was wobbled just a little bit, and that left eye is swollen almost completely shut on Benny Constantino.
I'll tell you, Benny's really going to want these next 20 seconds to go by quick so he can get back to his corner and figure out a game plan for the next 2 rounds. Work on that swelling, and there he goes. He knocks down YOLEXSY right as I was about to say he needs this round to be over. The boss proves me wrong. YOLEXSY is okay, but Benny, the boss, sends YOLEXSY down to the corner hard, and a pair of knockdowns for each fighter in the first 2 rounds, and all of a sudden this fight is squared even after 2.
This fight has been worth the price of admission alone. Benny Constantino with his left eye swollen almost completely shut, certainly down in the cards due to being knocked down in the first round. And just when you start to think he needs to do something big because they might stop us in between the second and third round, based more or less off the swelling in his left eye, Constantino does land something big and drop YOLEXSY Leiva towards the tail end of round 2.
Let's check out this replay here, and maybe Leiva thought the round was coming to an end there, and Constantino just hit with a big right hand. It looked like they almost flashed heads towards the end of that. We'll see from a better angle here. You see Leiva gets hit with that right hand and then goes flying into Constantino, hits it with another right hand. It was a pair of right hands there, Pete, that did it.
It was the first right hand that buckled the legs of YOLEXSY Leiva, and a second right hand that put him down. He looks to have some pep in his step here as we're about to begin round 3, but unfortunately for Constantino, it appears the doctor is talking to referee Danny Schiavone about the swelling in his eye. After the way he performed towards the tail end of round 2, I think if he wants to continue, you have to give him the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, it'd be certainly tough to stop this fight after a knockdown, the way Benny was able to get that.
And I could see a little sliver of eyeball in there as well, so it's not completely shut.
Not the most encouraging terms there, Pete, a sliver of an eyeball, but that, unfortunately, is all Benny the Boss has in his left eye, but he does not care, ready to go toe-to-toe with YOLEXSY here in round number 3 of his Schedule 4. Benny's second fight in the past 5 months. Before that, a 10-year layoff for the undefeated fighter, 7-0, hailing from Warwick, Rhode Island. YOLEXSY, 4-2, 3 knockouts from Nashville, Tennessee. This is the first professional fight outside of Tennessee. And that's it. Referee Danny Schiavone's got to step in. Looked like Benny was taking a beating over there in the corner and not really defending all the punches, and this fight is going to end to the dismay of the Rhode Island fans. But you always have to err on the caution of the fighter. And Benny's eye, not only was it continuing to close, it was starting to open the cut, and that could get real serious if that eye really opened.
That was a very good stoppage by official Danny Schiavone and a very good fight put forth by YOLEXSY LEIVA and Benny Constantino. Just to recap, Leiva drops Constantino towards the tail end of round 1. Constantino, with his eye nearly swollen shut, drops Leiva towards the end of round 2. And then with Leiva almost out on his feet coming into round 3, does this.
Yeah, you see that right hook right there. Another right hook, and you know the way that Benny's head went back, that was a great stoppage there by Danny Schiavone. You really don't want to get a guy like that hurt. I mean, Benny has all the heart in the world, and he would have stayed in there if he could. Danny Schiavone did probably what's best for Benny, and we're going to get the official time of the stoppage here by ring announcer Bill Carpenter.
Ladies and gentlemen, before we announce the decision, how about a big round of applause for Benny the Boss Constantino, who fought courageously here in the ring tonight. Benny the Boss, only a second fight back after a 10-year layoff. Ladies and gentlemen, the bout comes to an end. Referee Danny Schiavone calls a halt to the action with, at 42 seconds of round number 3, your winner by TKO, YOLEXSY Pitbull Leiva.